Singapore. Fascinating discussion with three senior leaders in banking and telecoms, all of which are critical partners for SMEs in Africa. Next, we're going to learn how ride-hailing giant Uber has made its own pivot from giving rides to commuters and pub crawlers to becoming a comprehensive logistics platform. Our BigFive colleague Charles is back to speak with Uber's Kartik Taneja. Charles, you can take it from here.
All right, thanks everyone. Welcome back. And we really enjoyed that last session. So here we are to talk about logistics, and it's become a very fertile competitive opportunity in the region. And we're very excited to have Kartik from Uber. You can explain a little bit about the business sector within Uber that you're in a moment, but we're just really excited to have you here because there's so much going on with not only ride hailing and food delivery, but also reimagining other aspects of logistics, including we're seeing a lot of startups doing freight logistics and other things. So really interested in hearing more from you about sort of what Uber is up to in the region around sort of the broader logistics space, in particular how it impacts small business. So just to get off on a sort of a factual footing, can you kind of just walk us through very briefly kind of what Uber's footprint is in the region in terms of where you operate and what businesses you're operating currently?
Yes, thanks a lot, Charles, for having me. It's always good to be present in the BigFive Virtual Summit. For those of you who've known me, I've been in the technology space for a long time. Before joining Uber, I ran Google's channel business both in India and in Europe for many, many years. And it's great and wonderful to be here in this, in this new industry and this new fast-moving, fast-changing, fast-paced industry. Look, I mean, I think there's lots of opportunities. I mean, if you look at Uber as a company, we operate at a massive, massive scale and a massive platform. We operate in more than 69, 70 countries. We operate in more than 8,000 cities. We have a cross-country platform. We have operate both in the goal of the company is to move things and people at the scale unprecedented in our lives. And we want to make it efficient, and we want to make it cost, and we want to make it cheaper for people to do that. Now, Middle East and Africa is a really, really important area for us and a very, very important geography for Uber to operate in. We operate in about 14 countries, six or seven in Middle East, and about the same in Africa, all the big markets in Africa. And we obviously, like any other company or like any other company that is operating through this current challenges of the pandemic, we are facing our own set of challenges. And and I'd love to talk a little bit more about it, and how we see the space evolving and how you as businesses can take advantage of that. But yes, there are challenges, and with challenges comes huge number of opportunities with that as well. So we see definitely this region as a very, very big opportunity for us.
Great. Yeah. So let's talk about those challenges. As you know,
yes,
better than anyone, the pandemic has had an impact on ride hailing. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
No airport rides, ride home from the pub, the commute, all the things that fed the beast previously they're not disappeared, but they've gone way, way down. Talk about the pivot Uber has had to make through this, and kind of there's always the opportunities on the other side. So talk about those as well.
Yes. So, I mean, if you look at if you backtrack about 9-10 months ago, when the pandemic hit, we were mostly known as a ride-hailing business. We of course had the Eats business as well, but our business and the way we have grown and the way we have built our business was on ride-hailing, and we were doing extremely well before the pandemic hit. Once the pandemic hit, we saw our business plummet drastically. And that is the time we wanted to, take conscious decision that as a business, as a platform, we not only move people, but we also move things, right? And we already had a business which was doing extremely well, the Uber Eats business, and it has completely taken off during the pandemic. So at one end, we were challenged with the ride-hailing business, which took a hit, but at the other hand, there were tailwinds which helped the Eats business really take off. So there was a natural hedge in the business, which was which was very good. Now, there are very few companies who have that. If you look at when I say if people are not moving, this gives us an opportunity to move things. So when people are staying at home, think of situations where you have to send a document, where you have to send a package, and you have to send it now. Think of a legal agreement, for example. You got to get it signed today, and there are four people in a city who need to get it signed. How will you send it today? You can send it through a courier, you can drive yourself, or you can hire an Uber. And one Uber will take the document from one A to B, Charles to Kartik, Kartik to someone else to someone else, and get that document signed and bring it back to Charles, right? And this can all happen within the space of 4 to 5 hours within the same city. You would probably take the same, and that is just one use case. Then take the use case of moving essential workers from which are really important. Think of bank employees who have to go and open a bank. Think of medic employees. Think of hospital staff who have to go late nights. Think of late night workers who have to go and work night shift. If you think of people who are working in factories, essential items, for example, providing grocery, those kind of workers. So we're seeing a lot of new and different use cases which are happening. Think of delivery. So if you look at the opportunities around local delivery, they are huge. I mean, people are staying at home and they want stuff to be delivered from their local grocer. They want stuff to be delivered from their local grocery shop. They want stuff to be delivered. Think of cases where you have your car which is standing and you have a spare part which you need. You can order it through a Uber, and Uber bring it immediately to you. Your washer fluid is in the car has got finished, so you can do that. So there are lots of interesting use cases which have come up. As I said, we are in the business of moving people and things, and we've seen a lot of interesting use cases which have come up and has shown huge opportunity in movement of just things. That's really good. The e-commerce has gone through the roof, as you all know, that as a business. And what we are seeing is that uh, the companies who are able to provide faster and faster and faster delivery times and are able to provide gratification to the consumers, to the customers immediately, are the ones who are winning. So you have the classic example of Amazon Prime, which is now promising one day delivery. What we are saying is that we are going to deliver in 2 hours. There are use cases where you say, okay, I want this jacket and I want to go out today evening to the park and I like this. Can I get it delivered by Uber in a couple of hours from the closest store, for example? And I'm willing to pay those $3, $5 extra for that delivery. So those are some really interesting use cases that are now kind of coming up in movement of people and things, which we had not thought of earlier.
So that's fascinating. And so right now you move people through what is the Uber brand, and then you move things, I guess, through Eats, if you consider hot food things. These other things, the documents and the car parts and the washer fluid, is that an Uber Eats thing, or is this a new Uber brand that you create, or have you made those decisions yet?
Yeah. So I mean, these are not new technologies. Let me put it very clearly. We have a platform of moving people, that is the regular Uber, and we have a platform of moving things, which is the Uber Eats, Eats as you know it. Mm-hmm. So we are using those existing platforms to increase the use cases and increase the number of situations where that platform can be used. And that is what we've been trying to do, which has been really successful, and we're seeing fantastic number of use cases and interest from different companies to start using it. So for all of you who are attending this, it will be interesting for you to figure out as to what are those interesting use cases which I can use this massive platform for my business. Can I get 1 hour deliveries done? Can I have create meal programs for my employees? That's another interesting use case at home. People are giving meal vouchers as employee morale for their team members, that, hey, you did a great work this month. And because we are not interacting that much, it is important to keep the morale of the employees up. So, hey, here's a $20 meal voucher for all your 50, 100 employees, whatever that is, right? It is being used as incentives as well. There are you're doing customer events and you're giving these vouchers food vouchers, etc., for customers to come and attend. You're even giving ride-hailing vouchers. So there's a lot of interesting use cases that you can happen. And I would encourage you to kind of think about the power of this platform and how it can make your business efficient, it can make your business better, and it can make your business cost effective, especially in these pandemic times.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit more. Because when you were describing this, I'm thinking, is this who's going to plug into your infrastructure or your platform to sort of realize this vision that you have of moving everything, basically?
Yes.
So talk a little bit more about what sort of partnerships. I mean, maybe a couple examples of a part. You were sort of implying like an HR or unit within a major corporation might be a partner in the sense that it becomes an employee benefit. But talk about some other, and maybe, given our ecosystem, which is a lot of, agencies and banks and media companies and fintechs and so on.
Yes, I'm happy to do that. So, talk about banks. Without taking names, we have a major global bank which is running a massive food program for their employees. So, for example, because the employees are going and servicing the customers in the retail branches, as an incentive for the employees to do that, they're running a massive food program. So employees can order food worth $15, and it's something that the bank takes care of, right? That's one example. Then take the example of movement of other things. So we have a major auto company which has tied up, which is providing spare parts. And if you need a spare part for your vehicle, you can do that. Take an example of insurance companies. So insurance companies are tying up with us to provide. Suppose take an example of a car insurance. Suppose you have an accident with the car, they generally provide you with a backup vehicle. Over here, they've tied up with us to provide Uber, which is cheaper, better, cost effective for them. Right. So
instead of like a car rental, you get an Uber.
Correct. So you
allowance
just
of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah. You get Uber vouchers, which you can use to till the time your car is repaired. So, you would have probably not thought of these things. You will probably have a lot of agencies who have clients who do e-commerce, right, in your membership and in your group, who can definitely use these services from Uber and integrate Uber as a service into their delivery, where the customer can just choose, okay, I need this to be delivered in like 1 hour, 2 hours. And from your nearest store or in your nearest warehouse, you will get that delivered. So there are use cases for every industry and every company that you can think of and use that. And then it's a very simple API integration, and then it's the same platform. And you can do that as well.
Great. So we're kind of starting to wind down here a little bit. A couple other things I want to get in. Uber has made at least one acquisition of note in the region, in Careem, in MENA. So Careem operates right now as its own brand, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit on, what the future of Careem is, and then a little bit on maybe what other acquisitions or what other acquisition types Uber's interested in. We just talked about partnership opportunities. Maybe we can talk about acquisition opportunities.
Yes, I think Careem is an amazing company. It was a fantastic acquisition. For now, there is no plan of keeping the brands or let going of that brand. I think the two brands will continue to operate separately. It's a great company to work with. As a company, we are always interested in very, very interesting technologies and companies operating in the region. I just told you the use cases. So any company which is in logistics, any company which is in providing technology for that, any company which is in the delivery space, we would be always be as an industry, as a company, we're obviously looking for such interesting opportunities. I think without going into the details, but I think there is enough opportunity and there is enough things that are happening out there which can be very, very interesting for a company like Uber.
Great. One last subject before we wrap up, and it's something that's been popping up a bit in the region, and it's also worldwide, but is this notion of the super app, and it tends to come out of payments companies, and because you have a payments app and it's easier to layer on other solutions into that, but also logistics companies are a natural path to a super app in a lot of ways, because you have e-commerce built into it, and you have all the things that you're describing are sort of tangential or tangential expansions from a core service, and that sort of naturally leads a path to a super app. How does Uber look at that? Do you see yourselves as a super app for the region?
Well, I think the concept is good. I think you rightly mentioned it, and as I've always been saying, the vision for the company is to move people and things and make it easier and more efficient and cost effective for businesses and consumers to manage this. Now, because we will be going into many more and interesting use cases and tangential areas, you will see a lot more usage of the app happening, right? And our vision is to continue providing the consumers the best service and continue providing the businesses the most cost-effective ways of moving people and things. And I think that's the vision. And there are many discussions around whether there will be super apps or not. But I think there's still way to go before it becomes like a really super app where you say that, okay, this is the app I need for moving all my things and all my people. I think there's still some way to go there. But I think the goal for the company is to make it efficient, is to make it cost effective. And obviously, I think one thing which I do want to mention over here is keep it green. The company is super focused on keeping it green. We recently announced that we'll move all our fleet to be green fleet. And we're investing, hundreds and millions of dollars to make that happen. So, company
your whole worldwide ride-hailing
yes
fleet, that's a big ambition. How long do you think that will take?
Yeah, I mean, I think our goal is to put that in the next 10 years, over the next decade. So, but we, putting a stake on the ground and is saying we will make this happen.
Right.
And we're investing a lot of money into that.
Great. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end it there because we're out of time. I always have a philosophy: it's better to end early and with more questions waiting than to carry on too long. But it's frustrating at times when you want to keep conversation going. But in the interest of time, we do have to end it there. But we hope to have you back in future events to talk more about what's going on with Uber and its vision for logistics on the continent and in the region. So thank you very much for joining us, Kartik.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Charles, and all the best.
All right.